Hello there everyone, this is Lilith and welcome back to another one of my videos for my YouTube channel. And today I'm going to show you how I created this layout featuring the new artist markers from Altenew, and this is set D. It's got some lovely teals in there and some lovely purples as well. So the first thing I'm going to do, is grab my artist markers, and I'm also going to use a stencil from Altenew. This one is the Skylight stencil. I'm just going to pop that onto some smooth cardstock and just tape that down so that it doesn't move too much. I'm going to take a really fine pencil and just draw around the shapes, which you can see me doing here. You could try coloring through the stencil itself. I do prefer just drawing with the pencil, and you won't see the pencil lines because I will be going over the outline with a black pen. So I'm just going to continue working my way through all the shapes, as you can see here. I'm going to start coloring. Now you will see the centerpiece. I don't like that at all. I will fix that later on, but I'll just show you how I colored the other parts. So I picked some purples and teals from the new set, but I also grabbed a couple of yellows and just to add a third color as well. So here you can see me working on one of the pink ones, as you can see here, and I forgot to draw one. And I'm alternating the smaller sizes here with yellow and pink. And I start with the lightest color, then just adding a bit of that dark color on the bottom section, and then just blending it out. Now Altenew does have a blending tool, which is very useful if you want to blend. And if you've blended out too much color, you can always add a little bit of darker color on top. So that's really, really useful. So once I'm happy with the smaller ones, I'm just going to work my way through all the different shapes, each time alternating with colors. And here you can see me draw that middle section again because I really didn't like the way I colored it. I had this idea in my mind with some kind of burst going out from the middle, but I'm just going to stick with the idea of having a darker shade around the edge and then a lighter shade in the middle, which I'm just going to do here. So I'm just going to add a little bit of that darker shade, which is Lagoon. You can even go with the darkest color, which is Emerald, if you wanted to. But I used Mountain Mist, Volcano Lake, and Lagoon. For the new purple ones, I used Rose Quartz, Poppy Heart, and Purple Wine. So once I've finished coloring all the beautiful parts, I decided to go around it with a fine pen, as you can see me do here. And I thought of using the stencil to make the lines nice and straight, but in the end I just ended up doing it freehand. And this just defines the shapes a little bit more and gives it a bit more contrast, and I really love the look of that black outline around the color. So now that I have my shapes all colored and I have drawn an outline around the border, I'm just going to cut out the shapes. So for the centerpiece, I'm just using my scissors, and then for that lovely shape, I'm going to use my swivel knife and then this tool which cuts out circles. If you do have a very large die, a die would work perfectly, but I don't have a circle die which is large enough. I'm also going to start creating a couple of embellishments, and I pulled out my halftone stars set for this, and I'm going to use some leftover paper from a previous project where I also used the artist markers. I just took some white cardstock, smooth cardstock, and took rose quartz, puffy heart, purple wine, and mountain mist, volcano lake, and lagoon, and I just created this fun kind of swipey background using different shades and just going over with kind of this stripe effect. And as I had a couple of strips left over, I just used those dies and cut out some stars. I'm also going to use the halftone stars stamp set and just stamp a couple of those shapes using very similar colors to the ones I used in the artist markers. And this is really simple because Altenew has coordinating stamp colors. So you can get the lagoon ink, you can get the puffy heart ink, and so I just picked those and they work perfectly together. So those stamped images, I'm also going to cut them out. I'm so very sorry for my head always popping in. This is kind of precision work, so I do have the tendency just to go and hang over my work while I'm doing this. So once I have all the pieces, I'm just going to start puzzling until I'm happy with the overall layout. And once I'm happy with that, all I have to do is glue it down and then start adding a couple of finishing touches. I did think the background was a little bit bare, and because that rainbow striped washi tape just fits so perfectly, I thought I'd use this one. So I'm just going to pop that onto my white background, and this just adds a bit of contrast. Even though there are a couple of more colors in that washi tape, it does still fit perfectly with the colors I picked for my stars and for that lovely colored centerpiece. So I'm going to add a couple more of those stamped hearts. I'm using the fuller images and the smaller ones, just adding a bit more detail to the layout. I'm also going to pick a couple of sentiments from the same stamp set. So this is the halftone heart stamp set. And my permanent ink wasn't very juicy, so I just added a bit more ink. So this is also a very fun feature in the Altenew store, is that you can get re-inkers for all your inks and also for your artist markers. So if your artist markers are running dry, you can get the coordinating re-inker. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this little video, and I hope to see you very soon with another layout for Altenew on my YouTube channel. Bye bye.